Here's how the West looks like. OKC, obviously, is at the top by a significant margin, followed by the Nuggets, the Rockets, and the Clippers in the top 4. Check this out. The Lakers came in at 8th, just below the Grizzlies before this season tips off. Now, health is a factor, and this shows you how important LeBron will be to their success. 8th in the West would have the Lakers likely in the play-in. So, Ramona, where do you have the Lakers in the West at this point?
A little higher than that. I mean, 8th would have them in the play-in, but I'm not sure that they're not a 6 or 7, that with 7 still in the play-in.
Right.
And it's
so close.
It depends on how they start this season, right? They have a relatively easy start to the season. Usually all their games are backloaded into the national TV games and when you get to February and March and April. But if they get off to a bad start, if they get off to, like, let's say they go 6-18 or something before LeBron James comes back from this back injury, things could get really yucky for them. But they also are built around Luka Doncic now. And, if they get off to a great start without LeBron James, that changes the conversation in LA too.
Well, look, let's tackle the first part of it because, Shams, we know that the West can be unforgiving. So health, obviously, is the most important factor for this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm keeping my eye on LeBron James's health, to be specific, and he's been doing some more on the court over the last few days, but I would still look at mid-November as really the earliest timing for LeBron James to return. But this is someone, when healthy, top 10 to 15 player in the league. Yep. They need LeBron James if this team is going to truly contend.
And maybe we can throw that graphic up again. But, Mark, you saw the graphic a second ago. Who's being slept on in the West?
There's some shade in Minneapolis, man.
Okay.
Shade in These guys have been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Ant-Man, are you seeing this, Ant-Man?
Uh-oh.
Ant-Man, Rudy, are you seeing this?
Yeah.
McDaniels, Conley, y'all being disrespected. That's something that they need to have on their bulletin board every day when they walk in.
Right, back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearance.
Yeah, and now you got them 5th. I'm really curious to see.
Clippers are pretty high in this, and I think the Warriors are a little low.
They went to the West Finals 2 years in a row, and they're 5th. That's shady.
Okay.
I want to, but you know what?
What?
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
Prove us wrong.
I actually think the Mavs could end up being a little higher depending on what happens. What happens here? Now we have breaking news here. So Shams, what do we got?
Dyson Daniels, the Hawks' two-way stalwart guard. He was the defensive player of the year, runner-up, all defensive first team. He was the most improved player of the year. He's reached agreement 4 years, $100 million rookie contract extension. His agent, Daniel Moldovan, tells me here today. And so he becomes the second player to reach a rookie contract extension today. I think the number is 8 in total as of right now. Christian Braun earlier agreed to a 5-year, $125 million deal. Now Dyson Daniels. Think about the success he had last year next to Trae Young.
Yeah.
They acquired him in the DeJounte Murray trade, and now here a year later. In New Orleans, he was injury-plagued. He was going through ups and downs there. He ends up having an injury-free year last year. Plays at a tremendous level defensively. 3 steals per game. Off the top of my head, I don't know when the last time, I think, I had it in front of me. Been a while. Yeah. Gary Payton, the last guy to have as many steals.
That's the number, though, isn't it? $25 million. Everybody's getting $25 million a year.
And by the way, he said, there might have been like some voodoo or something or curse going on in New Orleans. Those were his words. All right, so we're back here with James Jones again. James, Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations for the NBA. Can you hear me now, my man?
I can hear you. By the way, the JaVale McGee faking an injury to get a dunk is classic.
That should have been number one. If we're being honest, no offense to Marcelo Huertas, okay, that should have been number one. But, all right, JJ, let me ask you this. Season's about to tip off. You're in this new role. What is going to be exciting for you as we get ready to tip off a new season?
Man, so the season this year is so competitive. When you look at the landscape of the NBA, you have all these emerging teams, all these established teams. The storylines are great. And you have a champion in OKC, a young team that's looking to repeat across a field of veteran teams that are looking to get back on that pedestal. So I'm excited about the level of competition that we'll see to start the season and hopefully to end the season as well.
Now, you're in charge of a lot of rules, okay, and enforcing those rules. We've heard about the heave rule at the end of the quarters, which I like. They've been doing that in the G League for a while. But Steph Curry's been talking about this high five rule. He says it's long overdue. You were a heck of a shooter. You won a three-point competition. We mentioned that LeBron called you one of the greatest shooting teammates he's ever had. What do you make of this rule, and why was it implemented now?
Well, the spirit of the high five rule initially was to just make sure that when defenders competed at the point of release, they weren't penalized for actually trying to contest shots. And at some point, it morphed into the shots were gone and guys weren't really competing. They were really just taking shots on our guys. And so to protect shooters and to make sure that there was honest competition at the point of release, we felt we needed to address it. And if we can take the egregious ones out, guys trying to deliver shots and kind of intimidate shooters and get back to pure competition, I think that's when you see the plays that we love, which are highly contested shots under duress when guys make great plays. And that type of pure competition is what our performers need.
Now, listen, every crafty shooter out there will try to find an edge. All right, remember the leg kick, the Reggie Miller rule? What do you make of a potential shooter trying to take advantage of this high five rule? Is that possible? You were a great shooter.
I think like all things, our players will try to find an edge, and we just have to be diligent and make sure that we don't allow them to make these non-basketball moves. But that's the nature of our game. But our referees are keen. They're honed. They're locked in on it. They'll do a good job making sure that they strike a good balance and hold the line of honest competition and marginal contact.
Look at that man right there. Look at that stroke right there. That three-point competition by this man right here. Look at that young fella, James Jones, back in the day, hitting those shots. All right, now let me ask you this: you're in this new role. You are not that far removed from playing. You were a GM recently, as we talked about to start the program here. So, for you, what is it going to be like if you have to, I don't know, potentially fine someone who either you played against or, God forbid, even a former teammate? How does that work?
It's a standard that's equal amongst the league. At the end of the day, my job is to maintain a standard, because I truly believe if you can set a high standard, a high bar, our players are good enough to overcome it. And so they don't need any help. They don't need anything except clarity on what the rules are and where the lines are. And when you give them that clarity, they're able to go out there and perform. So I'm not concerned about that. As long as I can continue to do it fairly and equally, I think the guys will respect and appreciate that, and they'll keep it moving.
You hear that, players? James ain't going to take it lightly on you just because he played with you back in the day. That ain't going to matter, okay? So, all right, let me ask you this. Speaking of players you played with back in the day, we just showed a bunch of pictures of you and LeBron. He's 40. He's going to be 41 on December 30th. How surprised are even you that he's still going at the rate he's going right now?
He's the best. He's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play the game. That's to be debated. But what I do know is he demands greatness from himself. And when someone really pushes for greatness, you're never surprised. So am I impressed? Yes. I think most people are. But he's a guy that's always said he'll play as long as his body and his mind are engaged. And he's been doing that for the last 23 years, and he shows no signs of slowing down.
James, thank you so much. The Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations for the NBA. A pleasure having you on NBA Today. Great to see you.
Thanks again.
JJ Redick believes Luka Doncic deserves MVP talk if the Lakers win. As the 2025-26 NBA season tips off, all eyes are on Luka Doncic and what he can bring in his first full season with the Los Angeles Lakers. After a dominant run in the 2025 FIBA Eurobasket, where he looked in peak physical condition, expectations are sky high. There's a growing belief that this could be the best version of Luka we've ever seen. Now, with LeBron James expected to miss the start of the season, new Lakers head coach JJ Redick will be leaning even more heavily on Doncic to drive the offense and lead the team. Naturally, that sparked the MVP conversation. And according to Redick, that's not just talk, it's a real possibility. He's driven by winning, Redick told the LA Times' Tuk Ning Nguyen. I know that because we talk about it all the time. That's what fuels him. And if we're winning at a high level, there's no doubt in my mind he'll be right there in the MVP conversation. Redick's words carry weight, not only as a first-year head coach, but as someone who's shared locker rooms with MVPs and understands what greatness looks like. And he's right. Historically, MVP honors go hand in hand with team success. Players rarely get serious MVP consideration if their team hovers around .500. But if the Lakers find themselves among the top 4 teams in the West, and Luka is putting up his usual eye-popping numbers, he'll be right there alongside the likes of Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Doncic already has 3 top 5 MVP finishes under his belt. His closest brush with the award came in 2024, when he finished third after leading the Dallas Mavericks to 50 wins and an NBA Finals appearance. That kind of impact is exactly what the Lakers are hoping for, and with the purple and gold behind him, it's not out of reach. But Luka's focus isn't on individual awards. As he's said time and again, winning is everything. That's why he's already setting the tone for what the Lakers need to improve, and for him, it starts with toughness. "I think when we start games with physicality, that's when we're at our best," Doncic said after a recent practice. "So we need to be more physical, no question. Especially getting into those pick-and-roll actions. Be physical. Set the tone." It's that blend of leadership, awareness, and competitiveness that makes Luka so valuable, not just as a player, but as a presence. With LeBron out temporarily and a new era underway in Los Angeles, Doncic has the opportunity to not only carry the team, but to redefine what it means to wear the Lakers jersey. If the wins come with it, the MVP conversation won't just be speculation, it might become reality. Doncic's influence is already being felt, not just through his stats, but through his attitude. In team practices and early preseason scrimmages, coaches and teammates alike have noted a shift in the team's tempo and intensity when Luka is on the floor. His vocal leadership, his demand for execution, and his calm under pressure are elevating the group in ways that go beyond the box score. Veteran forward Anthony Davis has also commented on Doncic's early impact, saying, "Luka's not just a scorer or passer. He reads the game 2 plays ahead. He's constantly talking, directing guys." That kind of presence, especially without Bron, is huge for us right now. Internally, the Lakers coaching staff has been working to build an offense that maximizes Doncic's strengths while maintaining balance. Redick, known for his analytical approach and emphasis on spacing, has implemented sets that give Doncic more freedom to operate, particularly out of the high pick-and-roll, a system where he's already showing elite command. Defensively, the Lakers still have questions to answer, and Luka has acknowledged that his end of the floor has to improve. "I know I have to take more responsibility on defense," he admitted. "It's not just about scoring. If we want to win big, it's going to take complete effort, from all of us." Media response has been swift. Several national analysts have started including Doncic in early MVP watch lists. Former MVP Kevin Garnett recently stated on his podcast that Luka could be the most valuable guy in the league if the Lakers stay in the top 3 in the West. Even opposing coaches have taken note. After a preseason game, Suns head coach Frank Vogel said, "He controls every possession. You can't speed him up, and now that he's got shooters and finishers around him, it's dangerous. He's going to be a problem all year." Meanwhile, LeBron James, though sidelined with a minor ankle issue, has remained active with the team, and has reportedly been mentoring Doncic closely behind the scenes. Sources say LeBron has been working with Luka on handling media pressure, late-game decision-making, and managing the emotional swings of a long NBA season. That mentorship could prove invaluable, especially if the Lakers push for a deep playoff run. Doncic, still only 26, has already achieved more than most players do in a lifetime, but he's never shied away from wanting more. This season, the stakes are clear. Expectations are high. And with a healthy, empowered Luka Doncic leading the way, the Lakers believe they're not just chasing relevance, they're chasing banners. The MVP conversation? That will take care of itself, if the wins keep coming.